Hi, everyone. Thank you for clicking through to the 23rd edition of the Braintree SkyRocket Sessions with myself and Dimitri. And today we get into episode 1 of our series about HR.
Welcome, everybody. We're happy to have you with us. And what have you got in store for us today, Gareth?
Dimitri, today is the first of a few episodes where we will discuss HR systems, and find out whether or not these systems are merely just tools to process people the same way an accounting package processes numbers, or if current HR packages actually make it easier to be an employee in an organization.
Sure, very interesting. It sounds great. So over the next few weeks, we are going to help the salespeople understand a little bit more about HR so that at the end of the series, they'll be able to, one, know what to say in front of a client in order to uncover opportunities. Two, understand that HR systems adds value to the client's management team as well as their staff complement. And then three, once they know a little bit more about HR, they'll know how to qualify what kind of opportunity they have uncovered when they bring it to yourself or me.
Cool. So they'll kind of have an idea of what products to pitch when they come to us already. But Dimitri, before we go forward, I think it's important that we just go back for a second.
Okay.
Cool. So I think it's important just to remind everyone out there about the purpose of these SkyRocket sessions. We take our time to provide quick and easy to digest snippets of what we do at Braintree from a business application and own product perspective. So Braintree is an end-to-end business application solution provider.
That's right, Gareth. Braintree has solutions that can add immense value and critical value to clients. I mean, if our software can't meet the requirements out of the box, then we just build software that can. And we are happy to assist the teams who are having these discussions and unlocking potential within the client.
Lekker. Okay, cool. Now that we've gone over what we're here for, let's get into HR, or human resources, right? Basically, it's all about people management. And if the ERP is about enterprise resources, then HR system must be about human resources.
So it makes sense, but what do these systems do?
HR systems help us manage our people and provide features that allow them to be the best employee they can be. I mean, just think about your role in your current job, right? And how you interact with the company and the company's policies. But what many people don't know is that a lot of ERP systems out there don't actually have comprehensive HR modules built in. And if they do, it's very light.
Sure, that is very interesting. You know, I thought people are the most important resource. So, I mean, why do ERPs offer such light HR modules?
I'm very glad that you asked that question, Dimitri, and you are on the right track. Okay, and it's exactly because people are so important that ERPs tend to leave HR to the specialists, right? So have a look at these interesting facts. According to US-based studies, 33% of employee salary, so a third of an employee's salary is sunk into the cost of having to replace that employee when he or she leaves.
So it saves you 1/3 of an annual salary just to keep someone and make sure that they are happy, just to then let them leave?
100%. As you can see, I mean, there's a number of stats there. 3 out of 4 is the number of employees that leave their jobs voluntarily, and 20% is the turnover rate in the States in 2020 of employee turnover. So employees are a massive, massive critical factor to any organization, right? And as you can see, employee salaries make up a big percentage of a company's expense sheet in the form of cost to company. So if you look at that graph, you'll notice that, for example, in the healthcare industry, 45% of the revenue goes towards paying for payroll or people costs.
Sure. So I mean, what you are saying is employees are so important, and managing their happiness and life cycle within my business is so critical that I need a separate system to do so.
Yeah. If you had to ask me, I'd say yes, right? ERPs, the enterprise resource planning tools are really dealing with so many complex business processes across my entire business. And HR systems are like almost as complex as that. You know, dealing with people is a very complex issue in the amount of issues that need to be addressed. The modules are specifically designed to automate and enhance not only my workload, and not only the workload of the HR admin person or the HR manager who's operating the technology, but it's also aimed at making your life, the employee, much better because you rely on it every day to do things like check leave balances, complete workflows, look at things like payroll, but it also allows me as a business to incorporate things like applicant tracking, time and attendance, benefits management. It allows you, Dimitri, the employee, to go into a system and kind of like how we work with HR Focus within the Vox group. We're offering that same type of value to any customer out there.
Wow. So, I mean, that just goes to show how many touch points an HR system has for the staff member. And it makes sense. I mean, our audience just needs to think about their own role as an employee, and they'll have a sense of what we're talking about. Each month, we look at our pay slips, we may need to book leave, or even just check our pension funds. And then looking from a management perspective, we've got KPIs. I use our HR tool and I have zero interaction with our company's ERP tool.
100%. So, and that's critical. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, right? So even though you don't deal at all with our financial management or ERP system, you definitely engage with our HR tool, right? And that's the same for everyone else out there. Payroll and HR usually live in a separate system for that reason, but for many other reasons as well. Sometimes specifically because of things like tax or VAT regulations or labor laws are different in various different countries. And the trick for our audience is to try and find out where the customer's pain points exist, and then knowing just enough to pique his interest, and then set up a meeting with yourself or myself.
Sure, that's if he's even using a tool to manage his staff. Sometimes business owners are trying to manage staff manually using Excel spreadsheets and email. I can't imagine. But I mean, it becomes a nightmare when trying to figure out how many hours to pay somebody for. I mean, just how many hours in a month, and putting all of that together, or even just trying to track sick leave and how that then calculates across to see what the final balance is.
Exactly, 100%. It can become like a whole job on its own. I mean, that's why it is. You have HR departments, right? And all they do is manage people. The one is Verde, as everyone knows it. It's a product that we built. And it's while it's not a complete comprehensive HR package, there's a lot of HR functionality built in, and it's easy to deploy, and it sits nicely next to most financial management systems. Then we've got a third-party product from our one of our distributor partners, Foresight or Dynamics Africa, and that's actually powered by PaySpace, which is quite a big name in the payroll and HR area or arena. It's a great tool. It's very nicely tiered. It doesn't cost a lot of money for the customer, and it provides like literally everything that they need. And I've done a lot of quotes with the Vox team currently around that. So the uptake has been very, very good. And then we've got an enterprise tool called Dynamics 365 HR, obviously.
Okay, so I mean, if our team members hear their clients mention anything about problems they may be having regarding engaging the workforce, attracting talent, managing relationships, training, talent retention, diversity in the workplace, as well as employee health and well-being, they should give us a shout to chat further.
100%. So any of those issues would be touch points that they can reach out to us, and we'll go and chat to the customer, no problem.
Magic. So effectively, HR is about people. We have systems that address these challenges of people and how to make their employees' life better. And then finally, Braintree is ready to have these chats with you ASAP.
100%. So yeah, that's it, guys. Tune in next week and we'll tell you more about some of our HR offerings and specifically how they can add value to the HR manager's life. We're going to invite our head of people at Braintree, Angela McMahon, into the conversation. So until then, stay safe, stay lekker, sell hard. Cheers, guys.